Question 301. How does a person become prudent?
A person becomes prudent by learning to distinguish what is essential from what is non essential, to set the right goals, and to choose the best means of attaining them. The virtue of prudence directs all the other virtues, since prudence is the ability to recognize what is right. After all, someone who wants to lead a good life must know what the good is and recognize its worth. There are 3 steps to being prudent: deliberation, judgment, and execution. Think about the act of driving a car. If you don't have prudence and use your ability to make decisions based on the factors you see, you'll find yourself in a car crash. For example, one day you're driving and it starts to rain. The first step of deliberation would lead you to realize it's raining, which means the road will become slippery and you will have a hard time seeing where you're going, and other drivers will have a hard time seeing you. The second step of judgment is deciding what the right thing to do is, turning on the wipers and lights and slowing down. The last step of prudence, execution, is the actual action of following through, turning on wipers and lights and slowing down. What do you think will happen if you act with imprudence and disregard the fact that it's raining? And you just increase your speed without turning on the wipers or the lights? You'll probably hydroplane and get in a car crash. Even though you knew all the other details about how to drive a car, like how to turn on the lights and wipers, notice how the virtue of prudence helps you to know when you need to turn on the lights on the wipers. Now, think about the story of the merchant in the Gospel of Matthew, who, on finding one pearl of great value, went and sold all that he had and bought it. Chapter 13, verse 46. Only a prudent person can apply the virtues of justice, fortitude, and moderation so as to do good.
Question 302. How does one act justly?
One acts justly by always making sure to give to God and to one's neighbor what is due to them. The guiding principle of justice is to each his due. A child with a disability and a highly gifted child must be encouraged in different ways so that each may fulfill his potential. Justice is concerned with equality and longs to see people get that to which they are entitled. If you look at the 10 Commandments and the book of Deuteronomy, you will see how God is very concerned with justice. He tells us to treat others the way we wish to be treated. In addition, justice includes giving to God our love and worship.
Question 303. What does it mean to have fortitude?
Someone who practices fortitude perseveres in his commitment to the good. Once he has recognized it, even if, in the extreme case, he must sacrifice even his own life for it. Fortitude means to do what is right, even when you don't want to, and to endure without giving up, even to the point of being willing to sacrifice life for love of Christ. It is a very important virtue to have, since it helps us to overcome our fears instead of allowing fear to paralyze us. How do we get the virtue of fortitude? In two ways. You need to ask God for it, and you need to practice the virtue of fortitude by being courageous in situations that call for it.
Question 304. Why is it virtuous to be moderate?
Moderation is a virtue because immoderate behavior proves to be a destructive force in all areas of life. So, if someone is immoderate, that person will become a slave to his own desires and do whatever he's in the mood for. Doing this also hurts others because his feelings and impulses become more important than others' feelings. Additionally, the act of being immoderate can lead to the person hurting himself. What kind of behaviors are considered immoderate? Drinking until being drunk, eating until our stomach hurts, playing so many video games that it impacts our schoolwork, our sleep, or our relationships with others, and so on. Actually, in the New Testament, if you see the words like sobriety and discretion, those words stand for moderation.
Hi, I'm Katie Locus. This is my sign name. I'm from the Archdiocese of Kansas City in Kansas. Thank you so much for watching our video this week. Hope to see you again next week. Bye!